In this video, we're going to be looking at how reading plays a role in your revision and how you can level up your revision. I'm going to be mentioning a few activities in the video, and if you're not sure about them, you can always click on the links in the description below. Reading can be a really great activity, or it can be a pit activity. On its own, reading is pretty much down at the bottom end of different revision techniques, because it's a mostly passive activity. And in actual fact, you've got to be careful because it's really easy just to sit there and think that you're actually doing revision, whereas in actual fact, you've just got your book open, you're just glancing at it every now and again, and you're not actually doing any revision. So in actual fact, you're doing no revision and you're in the pit. How do we get ourselves out of the pit? Just reading by itself, as we've already mentioned, is passive, so it's not a great way to spend your time revising. There are better ways of revising. So to improve your revision, the first thing really to realise is you need to read with a purpose. The first example of a purpose to use is reading to find the key information. You might then highlight that information. The next way to bump up your revision is to do something with that key information. And the obvious starter is summarising it. You might want to make yourself some revision cards, or what you could do is select out that key information, turn that information into questions, and make yourself a reusable, testable revision activity such as flashcards. To improve your revision even more, I would suggest that you get into this habit of stop and explain. You will be sitting there reading for a while, and then after a specific amount of time, you're just going to stop and try and explain that to yourself. Can you say it out loud? Can you write it down? Can you explain what you've just read about? If you can, great, you can then move on. The best ways to make reading really purposeful is to know exactly what you're looking for before you start reading. Now, as an example, you might have done some exam questions, and after doing those exam questions, you found the ones that you got wrong. In other words, you found the gaps in your knowledge, and that means you know exactly what you're looking for, so you've got a real purpose to your reading. Another activity that creates this sort of purpose is a think it out pre-study activity. This is where you've made a prediction on what you think is going to happen, what you think is important in the topic. After you've made that prediction, you're then going to pick up the book, you're then going to pick up the information, do the reading, and find out if your predictions were right or wrong. So reading in itself is a passive activity. Be on the lookout for fooling yourself. Just because you've got the book open doesn't mean you're revising. Okay, get yourself out of that pit. Start revising properly. Start turning that passive reading revision. Reading on its own is a passive activity, but hopefully today you can see that there are lots and lots of activities you can use to turn that passive reading into real purposeful, great revision. I hope you found the video useful. Good luck with your revision.